Hey, I hope you're doing well. In many videos, I have talked so much about active learning. I've mentioned you should be an active learner, you should be a problem solver, and all sorts of things. But there's one thing that I've not yet mentioned, and that is the idea that this thing called active learning, it is not something that is new that you are yet to do. It isn't something that you have never done before. In fact, and here's the truth, everyone is a natural active learner. I believe everyone is a natural active learner. And here's how I would illustrate it. Think about when you were a little child, okay? How did you learn how to speak the language, the native language that was spoken in your house? I mean, nobody, as a baby, nobody taught you how to say mama, nobody taught you how to say dada. But all of a sudden, you just ended up saying it because you were watching people around you. They were repeating it all the time. And when you needed to communicate, you said it. And so everyone grew up without any formal education, learning their local language, their native language, their first language, the language that was spoken in their milieu. And then you talk about movement. Okay, when a baby is growing, it learns to crawl, and then it just wants to walk, and then it starts running, right? Nobody has a gives a baby a teaching lesson. Sorry, a walking lesson. It just begins to walk because it wants to walk. And then you pick up certain habits in your house. I mean, if there are a lot of people insulting in your milieu, you realize that you'd also start, saying stuff, right? And what I think about all this is that without being given a lesson, given a prepared lesson, and then given books to read and all that, you are already picking up stuff and learning up stuff. And sometimes when you were a child, you saw if you like to play with technical stuff, when you saw a television was broken, no, not a television, a radio was broken, you like to take it apart and then you like to fix it. And the girls, especially in where I grew up, you saw the little girls when we were playing, they were sort of mimicking how to cook in the kitchen and all that. And then the boys were also fetching water and then just sort of working together like the way we mimicking how we did in the house, right? We were sort of learning at home. We were sort of learning and practicing stuff, right? But it seems that along the way, this idea of going to school comes in, and it would seem you can only be relevant or you can only be capable of doing something only after you have taken a series of courses and passed a certain number of exams. Okay, and that becomes a little bit sad in the sense that it has never been the case. Okay, think of people who were not in school. Okay, and people, young women in the market who have never been to school, like my mom, she has never been to school, and she sells, right? She's able to sell. She sells condo, and then she also sells maize. I mean, bags of maize, and then delivers to people. So she's a businesswoman. She has never been to school. She has never taken any lessons in business, but she's able to deal with the customers. She didn't have to learn customer relations, but she knows that if you treat people right, they would want to buy from you, right? All those stuff are being learned without any formal interaction. Okay, and so I believe that naturally we are all active learners in the sense that we like to learn, get the needed knowledge to solve our own problems. Anytime we face the challenge, we asked people who knew about it, people who had already solved that kind of problem, and then we knew how to go about it. So our natural way of learning isn't really going to stay somewhere, get a series of knowledge, get a series of courses, pass some sort of exams before coming to practice all that content, right? It's like our natural way of learning is on the go. Okay, and so we are all active learners. We are active learners. It's just that um, it gets to a point where we should become more intentional about the idea that we have to be actively learning and not letting it just happen to us. I hope you understand. So today I just want you to understand that you're already an active learner. Everyone is an active learner. Okay, we just have to tap into that aspect of it more. Okay, and how do we tap into it? I've said it several times that it is great if we identify petty problems in our neighborhood, in our society, in our room, even. Okay, so identify a problem in your house, in your home, and then ask yourself, what would it take me to solve this problem? What kind of knowledge do I need to solve this problem? Or how do I go about solving this problem? How did somebody else solve this problem? The moment you start asking that kind of question, you're already putting yourself in a position to learn something to help you solve that problem. So, guys, active learning isn't something that you haven't done before. You already have done it, okay? Now it's the time for you to put it into more intentional or become more intentional about it, okay? And I believe that it is very important now that we get to that state, okay? Industry has changed so much, but our educational system has not been able to catch up as fast as industry is evolving. And so while you are pursuing some kind of knowledge in the classroom, in the school, I would be very happy if you sat down for some time, identify a problem you want to solve, and see what you can get from that knowledge in order to solve it. This is what I have for you this week. So my question is, how have you been actively learning? I really would want to know, what have you been doing to get more benefits that from school than the average student will get? What else have you been doing outside school that makes you feel more empowered than the information you are getting from school actually makes you feel? And if you're out of school, have you been engaged in any interesting activity? If you have, I would like you to reach out to me so that we talk about it. I have a blog that I write, that I post stuff about active learning on. Actually, I haven't mentioned it here before, but I have a blog of benjaminsoto.com. It's actually down somewhere here. You can visit it and then read my articles. I write about everything I talk about here. And then also I also write about young people that are active learners, people that I meet that are active learners, and I'm going to profile a lot of a huge number of young people. And so if you are doing anything interesting, okay, just send me a message. Let's talk about it. I will write and publicize what you are doing, whatever you are learning, no matter how small it is. Okay, it doesn't have to be big. No matter how small it is, we'll talk about it and I'll put it on my blog so that somebody can learn from you. Okay, and so that's what I have for you for this week. What have you been doing to unleash your active learning potential? Let me know in the comment, and perhaps I'll learn something from it. And if you know somebody who is doing something amazing, okay, share this video with them. Let them contact me and let's have a talk. I'll be so grateful to talk to any wonderful person that really wants to share their knowledge with me. And it's also an opportunity for me to learn about the challenges that people face when they are trying to be do stuff on their own. Have a nice week, and I hope you stay an active learner. Bye bye.